Um, Class 2, September 27th, 2023. We already did Class 1, which covered the sun, the moon, the rising, the signature in the chart, which is determined by the elements and the qualities. So you should have gone through your book. I choose how to learn, the only way to learn astrology. Okay. And you can find this on Amazon.com. And right now I'm looking at page 35 here because it tells you about the houses and all the meanings of the houses. You can see the numbers of the houses: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes all the way to 12. And I made up a chart for this class, which is whole sign, meaning I took the natural ruling signs without having to worry about the birth time. The natural ruling signs of each house that they normally rule. So Aries normally rules the first, Taurus rules the second, Gemini rules the third, Cancer the fourth, and so on and so forth. We're going to go through each one of them and kind of go through the opposite signs, because if you can get the opposite signs, it's a lot better. I'm just going to open up this blind a little bit here. If you go to the opposite signs, you tend to learn it a lot easier, a lot more quickly, I'm saying, because now opposite sign of the first house is the seventh. So the sign and planet that rules each house in its natural sense. The first house is normally ruled by Aries, right? First house by Aries. So this is the first house by Aries. And then the seventh, the opposite sign, Libra, is ruling the seventh. So the planet Mars is a natural ruler of Aries in the first house. And the planet Venus is a natural ruler of the seventh in the sign of Libra. So let's talk a little bit about the sign of the first house. The first house is yourself. It's your needs. It's not others' needs, the seventh house. Okay. So even though Aries tends to get a bad rap with being immature and selfish, thinking of themselves all the time, they actually, the good qualities, because every sign has good and less than positive qualities. And each sign has its own lessons it's learning. That's one of the reasons why we're here on this planet, is we have lessons that we're learning. Now, regardless of what kind of meditation technique you use, if you're a reborn Christian or whatever you do, no matter what, whatever you believe, you still have to do your lessons in this lifetime. So you can get the best guru from India and think, oh, I got this technique and it's going to change everything around overnight. And if you're seasoned like I am and have worked for, I was brought up Roman Catholic, but I worked also for spiritual organizations such as the Transcendental Meditation Organization. I worked quite a lot for. You understand that everyone wants one answer to life, and just meditate and everything will work out, or just become a reborn Christian, everything will work out. It doesn't work that way. You still have to do your lessons, is my point. You still have to come out and be faced with challenges, just as Jesus Christ was, or Lord Krishna, or Buddha, or any of us as human beings in a flesh body. We've got the flesh body, and we have to deal with life. So the first house lessons is more about the positive sides are, taking care of yourself, having self-empowerment, having self-confidence. Self-confidence is very important. And I will say that I think the fire signs and the air signs have the most self-confidence in the zodiac, which are masculine. The water, the earth and the water signs tend to be more feminine, so they may lack confidence sometimes, but they still have certain qualities that they have that the fire and air doesn't have, which is more inner perceptions about life, better discernment maybe about the inner world, rather than just focus so much on getting it right getting it correct in the outer world, in the objective world. The subjective world is a little bit more, they're more in tune with it, the earth and the water signs, especially the water signs. The first house deals with your physical body, what people see when they first meet you. It's how you package yourself. It's how you sell yourself. Okay. The opposite sign, Libra, is more sociable. They really enjoy having a lot of friends, and it's the relationships with others, not with yourself. So now you got the seventh house rules the house of marriage. I mean, it rules marriage and one-to-one partnerships of all kind. The seventh house, normally ruled by Libra. Okay, and it also deals with relationships you have on a day-to-day basis, even with your landlord or with a friend, a counselor, a business partnership. Okay, these different relationships you're having with others is the seventh house. So read up on these houses and these meanings in the book. The second house is naturally ruled by the sign of Taurus. So here we have the first house, right? The second house normally ruled by Taurus. There's the symbol for Taurus. And the opposite of Taurus is the eighth house, which is normally ruled by Scorpio. Okay. So the second house, deals with money earned. These are some of the money houses, the second and the eighth. Money earned through your own efforts on a daily basis. So if you're working for somebody else, it's money you're getting paid daily. I'm going to move something for a minute. I always forget to move my my shopping cart, you know, and then I see it in the back, and I'm like, oh God, they don't need to really see my shopping cart. I was getting to the second house is your material possessions, money that you earn daily. So if you have a good functioning second house, then you're probably going to be attract abundance effortlessly rather than with obstacles like squares and oppositions, or you're caught up in a T-square in the second house and it's stressful, you know, financially. It also deals with self-worth and how you love yourself. So love of self deals with the second house. One of the other things that deals with the second house is freedom. You know, your inner and outer resources, earning ability, and possessions. So, you know, Taurus is also a creative sign. So working with their hands, they like to work with their hands. Venus is a natural ruling planet of the second house because Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So we want to affiliate the planet Venus with the second house of abundance. Venus can also be affiliated with other gods or goddesses that are attract abundance, like Lakshmi in the Hindu religion would be affiliated with Venus. The date for Venus in the Vedic astrology is Friday, which is payday, you know, here in the United States. We also have the eighth house. Now, the opposite of the second is the eighth, and the eighth house deals with other people's money, not your money that you're earning daily. Usually money that you're loaned through banks, mortgages, house mortgages, car loans, etc. And then also rules the house of sex. This is the eighth house, and Mars is the classical ruler, while Pluto is the modern ruler, meaning before Pluto was discovered, Mars ruled the eighth, or the sign of Scorpio. Sex, taxes, death, partners, death, inheritance, and regeneration. The eighth house is also one of the spiritual occult houses. So if you're interested in astrology or you're interested in esoteric philosophical subjects, you may have a strong eighth house. The eighth house, the only way it's kind of the house of loss of money because you're borrowing it all the time. So you're going into debt with the eighth house. However, if you marry into a partnership of someone who has money, then that would help. That's an eighth house issue. The other thing that you gain money through the eighth house is through inheritance. So the death of a spouse or a family member. So that would be the house you'd look at. Again, ruled by Mars and Pluto. That's Taurus, Scorpio. Now we're going to go to Gemini, Sagittarius, the third house. The third house is normally ruled by Gemini. There's a symbol of Gemini, the third house. The ninth normally ruled by Sagittarius. And it deals with communication, the third house, all forms of communication, your relationships with your siblings, short trips, meaning within the United States of America, if you're living in the United States watching this videotape. Conscious mind, early education, so from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, brothers and sisters, and also neighbors you can include in that. The ninth house is long distance traveling. By the way, I'm sorry, the third house normally ruled by Mercury. So Mercury rules Gemini. The ninth house normally ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of good fortune and expansion. Jupiter is the good luck. I want to have some fun planet. I want to expand. I want to enjoy. I want to feel like life is light. It's a light. It's not a heavy Saturn energy. It's a lighter energy. So that deals with religion, philosophy, the superconscious mind, meaning higher states of consciousness. Long trips, meaning international travel, and then your in-laws, and also ethical laws more by the Supreme Court, so higher ethical laws. That's Gemini Sag. Now, the positive side to Gemini and Sagittarius is Geminis make very good communicators, good teachers, sometimes get involved with jobs like speech therapy, or journalist or a writer writing a book, da da da. In the ninth house, you could be a writer of a book, but more of a publisher. That's the publishing house, to publish a book. But the ninth house is normally ruled by Jupiter, as I said. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So now we go to the fourth house. The fourth house normally ruled by Cancer. Okay, so here we have Cancer normally ruling the fourth house. Opposite of the fourth is the 10th, normally ruled by Capricorn. And when you think about the opposite signs here, that the fourth house deals with your childhood upbringing and also the relationship with the mother. It has homes, endings, property, real estate usually is the fourth house, the large property ownership, not the smaller property ownership of the second house, which is more, stereo systems and chairs and that, but a home property, real estate. The mother, foundation to your life and later part of life, okay, is the fourth house. I've had a lot of experience with Cancer, sign of Cancer, which is normally ruled by the moon, because I have Cancer rising. My mother was born July 8th. She just passed away on May 27th of 2023. So recently, actually today would be 4 months, right? May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 4 months. And also my grandmother, who was my second mother, my mother's mother, who was born July 7th. My high school girlfriend for 5 years, she was in July, she was a Cancer. My wife, who died from cancer 14 years ago, she had Cancer rising like me with her moon in Pisces. I have my sun in Pisces. So I've had a lot of experience around the nurturing qualities of Cancer. It's domestic. It's more about family. They really, I think, family life. If you're kind of like me, I love my brother and sister, but they have their own lives now. When you lose your spouse from cancer or something early on, it's hard because unless you had children, we didn't have any children. It's a more lonelier life. But then again, the intelligence of the universe creates these situations so that I can learn my own lessons and when I'm supposed to be here learning. But they do value family a lot, and it's nice to have closeness with siblings and other family members if you have Cancer energy. I've often said that if everyone was born on the sign of Cancer, there would be no more wars in the world because they don't like the idea of they really feel deeply sensitive towards violence and that. They can be moody. The mood swings go up and down, and that's the moon, waxing and waning of the moon, phases of the moon. On the opposite side of that is Capricorn, which is, people who are workaholics and kind of really married to their work. Is they would have a 10th house emphasis. Saturn's a natural ruler of Capricorn, the carpenters, the builders of the zodiac. The 10th house deals with vocational recognition. It's your reputation in your profession. It can be the father. That's another house. The father tends to be affiliated with the 10th, the mother with the 4th house. And deals with your status, your ego. They really, one of the things about Capricorns, it's hard for them if they have a strong Capricorn energy. And my brother's Capricorn, his wife's Capricorn, so I've had some experiences. the way they show their affection is usually through working hard and providing for the family. They're harder to get close to. Saturn rules Capricorn, excuse me, and Saturn is the renunciate of the zodiac. So they want to renounce emotions, maybe more emotionally detached. Many of the gurus from India who made it popular, Yogananda, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and then Mahesh Yogi, Transcendental Meditation, his organization got taken over by Dr. Tony Nader. I forget what they call him, Maha something. He's a Capricorn. Mother Mira is a Capricorn. Who else? So there's a lot of Capricorns that have made it very prominently big, and I can't think of them right now. But you get, they build these organizations, building structure, building organizations, emphasizing renunciation, even if they're not true to that. There's a lot of them aren't. Why would they be? At any rate, I won't get into that. Okay. So here we go. We got the 3rd, the 9th, Gemini. I'm sorry, the 4th and the 10th, Cancer and Capricorn are opposite signs. So that gives you an idea of that. Then when you go to the 5th house, you got the sign of Leo ruling the 5th. So here's the 5th. Now we got the sign of Leo. Opposite sign of Leo is Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house. Now, when you think about Leo, what planet rules Leo? It's the sun. And of course, the sun has a lot of energy, and it's the center of attention. So Leos tend to enjoy basking as being at the center of attention. They're not shy usually as a sign, unless the sun is in the lower part of the chart, and in shy signs like Cancer or Virgo or Taurus, they're a little bit more, they don't really need the limelight. But generally, you've got a lot of highly creative artists, especially singers. Whitney Houston, the late Whitney Houston, Madonna, Mick Jagger, and the list goes on of people that love to be hams in the center of attention. And even if they're not born in the sign of Leo, they may have the sun falling in the 5th house if they're born at the time where the sun falls in the 5th. So Leo deals with creativity, is the ruler of the performing arts. And therefore, sports also can be children. So they really love children a lot. Creativity, amusements, love that you give. Okay. Love affairs, speculation, and romance. So when you think about dating somebody new, it's a gamble. It's a speculation in gambling. It is a dating house. There is also, there's the less than positive side of Leo is arrogance if they want attention too much all the time. It's almost like, they can't seem to get their minds off themselves. Somebody who's a double Leo, Jennifer Lopez, would have a hard time not being the center of attention. So they have to be careful of that. Former President Trump has Leo rising. Barack Obama, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's born of the sign of Leo. Bill Clinton's born of the sign of Leo. There's a lot of Leo energy in politics, too. The opposite sign of Leo is Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. The classical ruler of Aquarius is Saturn. So before Uranus was discovered, Saturn ruled Aquarius. How that works out, I have no idea. I'd love to hear more sophisticated astrologers who've been studying for years and years try to explain to me how on earth Saturn could ever have ruled Aquarius, because Saturn's so traditional and Aquarius, Uranus, is so rebellious against the status quo. They want to create something very unique and rewarding. As I've done that recent video for 2024, 2025 with Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's going to be one hell of a showdown between tradition, where Pluto's leaving Capricorn, and a youthful way of doing things. Uranus tends to be affiliated with the younger generation, Saturn with the older, more mature. But the 11th house deals with your goals, dreams, and wishes, friends, hopes, circumstances that you get involved with beyond control. And then love received. So 5th house, love given. 11th house, love received. Also, the 11th house, even though some astrologers don't talk about it enough, really is money earned through freelance work. So you could gain, I have that going on in my chart where I have the South Node there in Taurus. And I do tend to periodically have sums of money coming in from being a freelance astrologer, freelance guitar instructor, whatever, music. I got a lot of instruments that I play. Not a lot, but a few. I sing, I play a little piano, I play acoustic and electric guitar. So that's the other thing that the 11th house deals with. It also is very good for astrologers to have a strong, either the ruler of the 11th in a strong house like the 8th or the 2nd to make some money, or the 10th to help advance their career during, even in transits, to look at that. So that's Leo and Aquarius. The last two signs that are opposite are Virgo and Pisces. And Virgo and Pisces, Virgo rules the 6th, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury ruling Gemini, the 3rd and the 6th house. The 6th house is here, Virgo. And then the 12th house over here, Pisces. So we have the 6th house is more about health habits and also the people you work with. Health habits, unconscious mind, service given, work, pets. These are small pets. The larger, the horse, the larger pets are part of the 12th house. The 6th house, Virgo is the healing side of the zodiac. A lot of people have strong Virgo energy, tend to be involved in healthcare. It's whether it's holistic healthcare or traditional healthcare, they do have a Virgo influence. Virgos can be very perfectionist and hygienic and very clean, unless the sun in Virgo is afflicted, meaning it's squaring and opposing a lot of planets, having trouble. They can actually be very sloppy. So you have to look at the aspects. We'll talk about aspects at some point in one of my classes. Now, the opposite sign, Pisces, okay, ruled by Neptune. The classical ruler is Jupiter, because before Neptune was discovered, Jupiter ruled both Sagittarius and Pisces. And Pisces, which I am, I have a good dosage of Pisces because I have a Cazimi conjunction in the 9th house with Mercury. Mercury's within 17 minutes of the sun, Cazimi in the heart of the sun. So in Western astrology, my Mercury is fine. They actually think it's a benefit to have a Cazimi conjunction. In Vedic, Gemini is ruling my rising. I will go into that, the differences between Western and Vedic in one of my classes. And so to them, Mercury is getting destroyed by the sun, burning it up. They go very terribly combust because it's right on top of the sun. And that's ruining my self-confidence. Some of that's true. So I tend to go back and forth with both systems and find both valid in my personality profile. The 12th house deals with it's like a resting house, it's almost a retirement house, but it has limitations. It deals with, hospitals and prison cells and going on a spiritual retreat, some secluded area of life that has limitations to it. Hidden strength in the subconscious mind, often called the dustpan of the zodiac. Where we're wrapping it up. In reincarnation, you've gone through house 1 all the way to 11. How you get to the 12th, you're exhausted. You want to rest. You want to take it easy, and you want to try and clean up a lot of imbalances in yourself. So it's very karmic house, sometimes called the martyr house. Pisces can be self-pitying, and the world is always, going to the bathroom on me, so they can be whiners and kind of get into poor pitfall me's. They have to be careful of that. Many of them escape through alcohol and drugs, sex, whatever they can, gambling, these addictions. Pisces is the most addictive sign. So the way out for Pisces is to get involved in spiritual, holistic healthcare techniques, meditation, which I have done. It's helped me a lot. I really have gotten benefit from some of the best therapy you can get is just releasing a lot of stress from the nervous system and centering yourself all the time, self-empowerment. So that's the 6th and the 12th. And remember, the 12th normal natural ruler is Neptune. Neptune deals with more of the dissolver of the zodiac and the fog and kind of the a lot of channelers have a strong Neptune. They can think about other dimensions. another. It's more of the etheric, the higher dimensions is Neptune, whereas Virgo is very grounded and very practical. So they both can work together to help each other. Pisces being more into fog and needs guidance in terms of trying to remember things and stuff like that. So that's it. That's the class on houses. If you have any questions, let me know. Please click the subscribe button on my YouTube account so I get any more. Let your friends know. Share this with us, all free knowledge, so I have them share about how to read an astrology chart. I don't know how many classes I'm going to do. It's going to be several of them. But we've done the first class. We covered the sun, moon, rising sign, elements, finding a signature in a chart. And on the second class, we covered some of the meanings of the houses, which are very important, and each planet that rules each house. Remember to memorize, astrology is symbolic language. So you got to memorize, think about what does this symbol mean? Well, that means Aries. What's this symbol mean? Taurus. So memorize the symbols of each sign, how they go in order around the chart without thinking about the exact birth time, because people's exact birth time is going to change the order in the sense of the ascendant being the first house ruler. That's what the exact birth time does. It gives you the rising sign ruler. Mine is Cancer, so my second house is going to be ruled by Leo, right? Then the third house by Virgo, unless you have an intercepted chart. We could talk about that later. So I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste. My website is yogavisionaries.com. I do teach our classes over the phone or Skype. If you're personable enough to don't care what people don't care about your physical. But I like phones because we don't have to worry about getting ourselves dressed up and getting it all together. Nobody's going to see you. And I charge $45 an hour, to do that. If you do 4 lessons in a row in a month, it's 150, so it's a lot less than 45. Not a lot less, but less. And but the good news about the $45, it's within price range for everybody right now, the way the economy is. And it also, you can do it anytime you want. If you want to do one a month or one every 3 months or whatever, you can do that also. Okay. God bless you. Namaste. Oh.